well. Some of you have been commenting, saying that I'm up to no good. Well, here's the thing. You're right. Of course I'm up to no good. The riches are rolling in. The derp coin is selling. But my plans here are not done yet. We need to recruit. And recruitment is what I had in mind all along. For we will build an evil empire. Yes, the Emporium is not enough. To dominate the Hermitcraft server, we need ourselves a good old-fashioned empire.
Oh, Evil X, boy, have I been waiting to talk to you again.
I know, my friend. I know.
Dude, the derp coin has been doing so well in my shop. All I know is I want more. I cannot get enough of it.
Ha ha ha! Yes. You want riches like this?
Oh, yes, sir. That is what I am talking about right there.
So, you're looking for a bigger piece of the pie then? We need more shops. We need to sell more goods to make more profits.
Well, that I can do. I just made some farms that have some very valuable items.
Well, that is just perfect, isn't it? Greed is good, Jevin. Greed is good. Don't you ever forget that.
So I have these totems, but I think they're going to need a little spice if they're going to sell.
Well, I know just the trick. Let's add some evil pizzazz into the mix.
Oh man, that is so cool. These are so going to sell.
Yes, they will rake in the diamonds like Corrales playing Run in Season 6. That is the way to make diamonds.
Back at the witch farm again. Why on earth would we possibly need to come back here? This farm works a treat, right? Well, I had this brilliant idea to combine this farm with another type of farm. Yes, what you see right here are phantoms. Now, I don't particularly need phantom membranes, but hey, they drop XP and I can farm two things at once here. You might notice a big problem though. None of the phantoms are actually getting killed at this point in time. And this is because I went into my old test world and picked the first phantom farm that I saw, which was actually one of the designs that didn't work. And it had been so long since I last used this farm, I kind of forgotten what it looked like. So I went back, found the correct design, rebuilt it here on the Hermitcraft server, and now we're farming phantoms while we use our witch farm, which is pretty cool. And if you didn't catch this farm last season of Hermitcraft, I'll give you a quick recap. The water streams essentially capture the phantoms that are swooping down on me, the player, and it'll push them underneath the iron trapdoor where I'm swiping away with my sword, and on occasion that means that I'll kill some of them. And if you are wondering why the beacon, well, it's because we get resistance and regeneration. But there is one other thing we get from this farm, and that is phantom heads. Yes, looking very, very cool. And I'm also still playing with the sodium and Bobby mods to increase the render distance, and the views are awesome, but sadly, because of the lag spikes it causes, I'm going to have to take these off. And now that I've taken them off, you can see, yeah, the view distance isn't quite the same as it was before, but now things are back to normal. We're going to have a nice and smooth Minecraft experience. Oh, and the one thing I totally forget to do when I come here is probably to pick up the beacon before I leave, right? This time I did remember, and yeah, now we're going to get a bunch of water flooding in here. This system isn't too smart. Anyways, while I'm here, I'm going to pick up a bunch of redstone because we are going to be using a lot of this stuff in this episode. But before we get into any of that, I want to show you what I've been up to here in the base. We of course have the moss farm, and I left it running for like a couple of hours, and all of the chests filled up. So much so that I had a whole bunch of overflow to deal with. So yes, I had to make a bunch of modifications for all the items that come to this spot. And no, I don't know why I'm continuously jumping up and down. Okay, Minecraft is a buggy game. So, we've seen this area here in the last episode, but now what I've done is I've extended the path over here, realign the items, and as you can see, there's a whole other row of hoppers. Well, these ones right here, they all go into composters, which is kind of like what we had before, except I've moved the manual ones over to this side. So using some prismarine stairs, we can access the barrels up top, and we can access these ones down below. Now that's for if I decide that I want to rip out all the seeds or some other blocks and get some bone meal on demand. But now the farm, with all of these chests full, is actually just producing bone meal. So now it's officially a bone meal farm. I've also been busy in the area doing some decorating, which led me to creating this board right here. You see, inside of these houses, we're not only going to have villagers stuff, but we're going to have a bunch of different Minecraft farms as well. And so for this building, I have started work on a very, very simple, unautomated vine farm. And as you can see, we are still getting started with, putting in the cedar vines that allow everything to grow down and for us to shear it. And at some point, I'm going to sort out the torches up here, but this room is mostly decorated, and this down here is where it looks a little more interesting. Dripstone on the ground, spruce trapdoors for the ceiling, but what we need in here is some decorative blocks. And that is why I've created a shulker box full of these detail blocks that can make a room come to life. I still want to add a couple more things in here, but this will get us started. And just like that, the room is going to transform to the next level, right? Just these detail blocks, bring it to life, make it feel like a work area. Gotta love the items on the workbench right here, and the bell as well. Yeah, there we go, we can give it a ring and make the villagers panic. That guy just started running around, didn't he? So anyways, as you saw, that building had a farm put up in the top of it. And in these buildings, we want to put other simple to set up farms as well. So over here, we basically got a little board of ideas. And what I'm going to do is slowly chip away at them. And I'm also going to add a map to the wall. And that is because we need a map room. And you know what? I think the bottom area of here might just work out. Because today is that day where I map out the area. And it's going to be a lot easier today because I can fly. Every time I've done this before, I've just done it in a boat. Oh my goodness me. The difference is night and day doing this with the Elytra, I've got to say. Wow. Got that one done in seconds. It is getting a little cramped over here, and it doesn't look like I've done too much between the two, other than the roofs. And while I was flying around, I spotted something over near the mountain. A gorgeous little build has popped up here. Oh, this is actually part of like a bigger thing here. Wow, I love it. You can see the Evil Emporium off in the distance. And just over here, a charged creeper. And down here, another two of them. Goodness me. What's been going on over here? Okay then, no more distractions. Let's get to this, shall we? The next part of our villager project. This thing right here. What is it, you're probably wondering? Well, it's a sorting system for villagers that allows us to trade and interact with them before sending them off to their permanent residence. So we are in the building opposite the breeder, and this is where our freshly bred villagers come from when they've grown up into adults. Looks like they're taking a snooze at the minute. So yes, when the villagers grow up, they get sent on this line across to the building we're currently in. So what happens when a villager comes over here? Well, it's going to go into one of these holding cells. And when it's in there, the tripwire is going to set off a T flip-flop above it. So that means that the next villager to come through goes straight over this rail and into the next holding cell. And because of the direction of these rails, on the opposite side of the room, it means that the redstone blocks have to be like in the other position, but basically they're doing the same thing. So when a villager is in here, we can put down a block here that it can interact with and trade with it. And when we're done trading, we can press this button, which will activate the fence gate and allow the villager to fall down onto the track below. This would also reset the T flip-flop as the string would be activated again, so that resets the rail and allows another villager coming in to go into the holding cell when it's free. And when the villager falls down, it will get brought along to this central point, and this is a way that you combine the two tracks together, like from left and right, but what we're actually probably going to do is just send them in a straight line over in this direction, because they'll need to go off to a building we're going to build at some point in this space in the future. So it makes sense to bring them around to this side so they can get transported to another building. And that's only if we want to keep them, because some of these villagers might not have the trades that we want. So somewhere in this building I've got to set up a switch, and that means that rather than them getting sent across to the other building, they would, you know, get sent off to a pit full of lava. Yeah, sometimes this happens with villagers. The reason I haven't set that up yet, though, is because I want to do the decorative work next on this room. Are you ready for it? Let's go inside. I've actually only done this one floor, and it's taking me hours. Like, detailing builds is slow, but it's satisfying. And you'll spot lots of little things here and there. Now, when it came to squeezing in a farm in this area, I was thinking cocoa beans, but it just looked cramped and ugly. And so, technically, I could come here and harvest some sweet berries from the bushes, but they are pretty much just decorative. And speaking of decorative, these are actually barrels here in the ground. Yeah, I was taking a little inspiration from Pearlescent Moon's base, and I noticed that she put barrels in the ground, which gave me a couple of extra ideas for details, and you can see a whole bunch of other ones right here on the wall that are put together, just, you know, sprucing up an empty room. But this right here, this actually serves a purpose. So I'm yet to fully finish this, but when the villagers get sent out of this system, they'll either go to a permanent place of residence or they'll be sent into the void. So up here, you know, I've got this bit of rail that can be controlled. And let's just put a lever here to simulate that. So if it's in this state, then the villager goes down there and it will be a drop all the way down to the bottom of the world. There'll be some lava. Or if not, they'll get to go on an adventure over to a new building. So once again, they'll come out and move between buildings. But anyway, you might have noticed that this top floor is, yeah, not really that well decorated. And I guess I've got to do something. Maybe I'll do that next. Anyway, we've got a staircase to get up here though. And I am learning, wherever something is just flat and plain, just put a few things there. You know, it doesn't need to make all the sense in the world. We are getting close to playing around with our villagers again. Out the front here, you can see we've got a connection now between the two buildings again. And I didn't opt for a chain here, I've just gone with some regular redstone. It would have been just too awkward to put a chain going across from one building to the other, so a line of redstone is fine. Over here at the end, when this redstone block gets moved because the cell has a villager in it, it's going to power this line, which is going to turn off the clock that gives food to the villagers to stop them breeding. The chances are there'll still be baby villagers growing into adults, and that's why this is at the 8th cell and we have an additional 8, so if more villagers are still coming through, they'll have a place to stay. And if we get more than 8, well, I've got nowhere to send them to. It's like super awkward to get rid of the villagers from around here. So just up the top here is our redstone line, and there's a redstone repeater pointing into that block. All I need to do is put a clock here that'll power that dropper, and then all's good. With the idea being that the repeater, when powered, will stop the clock. Yes. And I want to decorate the inside of this area. And here it is. 2 observers together can make a clock. The repeater there is just simulating the block behind it being powered, and that will dispense out the carrots. And this space has been tidied up a little, but it's the room down below that's been properly renovated with all sorts of little details here, making the place look gorgeous. But now, my friends, we are finally ready. We're going to be connecting all the pieces of the puzzle together and getting ourselves some new fresh villagers to trade with. When you're working with villagers, nothing ever goes to plan, right? I have had issues with them breeding, but it would seem that we've now got a villager over here. There also appears to be 3 villagers at the moment, which is really strange because there were originally 4 of them in there, and then I had Evil X come over here and remove 2 of them because I couldn't get any of these to breed. I was chatting with Tango, we wasn't sure what the issue was, and we suggested maybe there were only supposed to be 2 in here. So somehow we've got 3, I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, this guy didn't get carted away because I forgot to put string there, which activates the minecart down below. And off you go, buddy, excellent, we got our first villager to trade with. Well, I'm feeling ever so impatient right now, waiting for this guy to grow up. All I want to do is use our trading area that we constructed today. So what I'm going to do is cheese it a little bit and bring some villagers up from the breeder down below that's still intact. So in the process of getting those villagers over here, I made a discovery that we had a villager sitting in a boat outside, which made no sense. There used to be a pillager in there. And anyway, it got turned into a zombie villager. I also found another one roaming in the area as well. This was all quite suspicious. So I came back over here to the breeder and realised where I had glass blocks before, the fence post was connected on all sides. So I think that meant that the villagers, the freshly red ones, were like getting pushed into the blocks and then getting pushed outside of the building. And you know, maybe that explains why we now have 3 of them in here. Anyways, I am very excited for what's next, which is trading with all of these. As you can see, there are hoppers down here. These are actually just to pick up the workstations that we're going to put back. So let's grab a fletching table. I'm not sure if I even need to do this trade, but I'm going to explore all of them now. This one should be able to become a fletcher. They're all looking at things underground, and I've got a feeling they're looking at the barrels, aren't they? Oh, every time in this game, it's never simple. So I guess it's not only the barrels, I've got to strip out all the other detailed blocks like our composters. Oh, the loom's got to go probably. I am in agony right now. You can probably tell this project is one hiccup after another, and I don't get it. I tested this. This design had all been figured out in a creative world. They would happily interact with the blocks that I put here in front of them. But, you know, here on Hermitcraft, they're just going to ignore it. Even if I remove the trapdoor, which is actually essential for this thing to work properly, they are still just going to ignore it. Great. So, back to the creative world I went, spending hours trying to redesign, fix the contraption behind me, come up with anything to salvage it. And then, as if to mock me, it just starts working again. Like, you see? That's fine. I'm going to take this away. I'm going to put it back again. Maybe that's a little bit of an insight as to what's going wrong right there, because if I bring out a fresh one and then put this down, it'll see it straight away. So if I remove it and put one down again, yep, they're fussy. So I log back in to try my luck again, and look, 2 of them have actually picked out the workstations. So it seems that this works, but with varying success. And I will take back a couple of my blocks and keep trying again and again, I guess. Maybe swapping them around. You interested in that? I totally just made a villager sound, didn't I? I'm becoming one of them! Okay, right. So this one's okay with it. These 2 aren't. What is the difference between them? I wonder if it's something like the velocity that they come in at. And the minecart is... Look at that one. The minecart's further back there. It might just be a case of them needing a nudge forward. Ah, look. See, that one picked it up, but this one didn't. So possibly putting a powered rail here might ensure better results. And let's demonstrate the unending genius of the trapdoor. Can I nudge it in a little further now? Cat, you totally got nudged, dude. You totally got nudged. Let's try you again with the barrel. Yes! Yes! We might have sussed it out. Now, I never put powered rails here on my design part, but I think I'll do like we've been doing a lot and just put redstone blocks between them. It looks kind of cool. I was struggling with this one here. It wouldn't pick up this one. Now it has, after I've turned around and noticed that without nudging the rest of them. So maybe like they just need a little bit of time to look for these. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is maybe put all of these barrel blocks out, because I just ripped them out of our base. Oh, and I also replaced the slabs as well. So I'm hoping this doesn't conflict. And do you know what? If it does, if I start having issues again, I know I can come and swap these all around. But I don't think this was actually the issue after all. Maybe the issue was just me. Maybe I just needed some patience, right? But here was the thing. I designed that, I think, in 1.17.0. And now we're in 1.17.1, which had me alarmed that something might have changed. Either way, all seems to be good now. I got a whole bunch of villagers here lined up with different trades that I'm going to seek out. For example, bricks. I think that would be awesome to sell in the Evil Emporium. And we've got a bunch of clerics over here as we're going to go after more of those XP bottle trades. However, this last one, this guy drove me mad. I was like, why are you not a cleric? And then I realized, hang on, you've just got a different skin. Anyway, this episode I just put a ton of time and effort into, mostly dealing with the villagers, but I think it shows in this part of the build as well, as it ended up looking really fantastic. Anyways, it's been one heck of an episode working on this project, so if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. In the next one, I think we might try and build the next building over here, which will be the final piece of the puzzle. It's all coming together. It's wonderful. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.